Have you ever really wondered what happens right after you hit upload on a job site with your CV? I mean, it doesn't just land in some digital folder, right? Nope, it actually goes on this incredible, high-speed journey, all guided by AI. And today, we're going to crack open the code of a real-world AI job platform and see exactly how it all works. So let's just get right to it. The big question. That split second after you've sent your carefully crafted career story out into the world, what happens? Does it just vanish into a black hole? Well, the answer is way more complex and, honestly, a lot cooler than that. Let's trace that journey step by step. All right, so we're going to follow your CV's life through 5 key stages. First, its digital journey begins. Then, we'll see how the AI decodes what it all means. After that, we dive into the science of a good match. Then, we'll see how that match can lead to an application. And finally, we'll get into the actual philosophy that's baked right into the code. Okay, Act 1, the CV's digital journey. This is ground zero. The moment that upload bar hits 100%, your CV stops being just a document. It transforms into pure, raw data, ready for a machine to start reading. The system grabs your CV instantly, but it doesn't just do a quick scan. See, this platform operates across Scandinavia, so its first job is to be a master linguist. It has to understand your entire career history, whether you wrote it in English, Danish, Swedish, or Norwegian. No problem. So once the system can actually read the words on the page, the real magic starts to happen. This is where we get into decoding your career story. This is all about teaching an AI to do more than just see words. It's about teaching it to understand the context, the skills, and the story of your entire professional life. And this is where you really see how efficient this thing is. When your CV comes in, it doesn't just sit in a queue. The system, and it's using OpenAI's GPT-4o mini model, which is known for being incredibly fast, it kicks off 4 separate analyses at the exact same time. So in just a few seconds, it spits out 4 complete structured profiles of you, one for each language. Now check this out. This is an actual instruction given to the AI. The engineers have literally programmed in what they call humanizer principles. It's telling the AI, hey, don't sound like a robot, avoid cliches like leverage and delve. And why would they do that? Because the goal isn't just to pull out data. It's to create summaries that feel natural and, more importantly, trustworthy to a real human recruiter on the other end. And the AI doesn't just read, it judges. It scores your CV against this really strict employer-focused checklist. It's looking for things like quantified achievements, numbers, a whole bunch of relevant skills, and a clean format that other systems can read easily. But here's the reality check, pulled straight from the source. Most CVs that come through only score a 5 to 7 out of 10. Getting a 9 or a 10 is, and I'm quoting here, extremely rare. Okay, so the system now completely understands your CV. So what? Now we get to the main event, the science of a match. How on earth does it sift through thousands and thousands of jobs to find the right one for you? Well, it all comes down to a secret formula. And that formula tells you everything you need to know about what the AI values most. Look at that. Your skills make up a massive 50% of your match score. That's it. That's the most important thing. After that comes keywords from the job description, then your location, and finally your years of experience. So the takeaway here is crystal clear. Having the right skills on your CV is more important than literally anything else. The platform is actually pretty clever. It uses a 2-step process. First, a super fast algorithm does a quick keyword search across the entire database. That takes the pool from thousands of jobs down to maybe a few dozen. Then, and only then, does it deploy the slower, much smarter AI to do a deep semantic analysis on that shortlist. It's like the difference between a quick skim and a deep, thoughtful read. And there are all these other layers of intelligence too. It gives a freshness boost to new jobs so more people see them. It can even detect if you're trying to change careers. And it has this brilliant thing called a domain sanity clamp, which is basically a rule to prevent ridiculous matches. For example, it automatically caps the match score between, say, an IT pro and a nursing job at 25%, no matter how many keywords might accidentally line up. It just knows that's not a real match. So, with all this incredible matching technology, what's the highest possible score you can get? You'd think it's 100%, right? But the system is actually hard-coded to stop right here, at 95%. Why on earth would they do that? It's because the system is deliberately programmed to never show a 100% match. The developers actually found that a perfect score felt fake. It felt unrealistic to users, and it actually made them trust the system less. So by capping the score at 95%, the results feel more authentic, more credible. It's just a fascinating little peek into the psychology of designing AI. Okay, so getting a high match score is awesome. But what does the system actually do with that information? Well, that brings us to our fourth stage, from match to application. This is where the platform tries to take action and close the loop for you. If you've turned on the auto-apply feature, any job that scores a 40% match or higher can trigger an automatic application on your behalf. And what's interesting is the developers noted that this number used to be way higher at 70%, but they intentionally lowered it to create more opportunities for job seekers. But this is not some dumb bot just spamming your CV everywhere. It's built with smart guardrails. It's got daily and weekly limits so it doesn't flood recruiters. It knows to skip jobs that are on external websites or ones you've already applied to, or jobs that aren't even active anymore. It's really designed to be a helpful assistant, not a pain. And for our final stage, let's zoom out a bit, from the specific features to the overall philosophy. What makes a complex system like this actually reliable? Well, it all comes down to the philosophy of the code itself, and it's all about building a system that actually plans for its own failure. Take a look at this. This is an actual log message straight from the source code. The system has found some corrupted data, a match score that isn't a real number. But instead of crashing or freaking out, it calmly identifies the problem, makes a note of it, and just safely defaults the score to 0. And this really gets to the heart of how this whole thing is designed. Trust isn't just built with flashy features. It's built on a foundation of pure reliability. By checking every single piece of data and handling errors gracefully, the system just ensures that it works every single day. That obsession with detail is what makes it a platform people can actually depend on. So we've seen how code can analyze our CVs, score us, and even apply for jobs for us. It really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As our careers are more and more guided by code, we have to remember there are human authors behind it all. The developers who are making the decisions about what's important, what a good candidate looks like, and even what feels trustworthy. The AI might be the tool, but the philosophy, that's still very, very human.